How we doing?
Welcome.
Yeah, we are a great time to be in Philly sports here with and we are This Fan's View, presented by City Distilling. So yeah, we got a good good show for us ahead. We got lots of good positive talk about.
Oh yeah, definitely positive.
And we'll start off with the biggest positive stuff: is fantasy football.
I don't know if I would count that as the biggest positive.
Oh, it's definitely positive.
Oh, of course.
Definitely positive. But we have to catch up with a lot of things because we've been on the road, and I was sick there for the first week, so we have to catch everybody up with the leaderboard. So week one high scorer was Caroline Bachman. She was first winner with a score of 263.83. And then as we announced that night last 2 weeks ago, the viewers beat me in the first week to take the early lead in our season match. And then week two, John Pybus was the highest scorer with a score of 232.54. And our leader, Carl, took the rings by the horns, the bull by the horns, and got the victory for us to bring us back to 1-1. And this week here with our week three, Donna Grasso was the high scorer with a score of 263.76. And Lauren's team had a big battle deficit to start off the game. They were about a 50-point underdog to start off, and the viewers just snuck it out there at the very end with the Eagles on Monday night with the four Eagles. So they took the lead in the season tally with us. So it's 2-1 victory for the viewers right at the moment. I was crunching numbers. My fingers are still hurting from the calculator today. You'd be proud of me there, Henry. With
of course.
With all the number crunching I was doing today, especially when you hear the results, you'll be more proud of me too.
I can't wait.
But it's 3 weeks in. Our leader overall right at the moment is Chris Bramble with a score of 670.1. Mark Cadezzo, I think that's how I spell it right, or is that right? He's in second place. Carolyn Hardy Bachman is in third. That one, Mr. Henry Russell, is in fourth. I'm surprised we haven't heard Emily's name yet. I thought.
Oh, I kind of knew it.
And then we have another family battle. It's not just you guys that are family battles. Randy Bachman Sr., Carolyn's husband, is also there. He's in fifth. And Emily, you're still there in the top 10. You're in eighth, so you're not too far behind. So we're
Still
doing
plenty
well.
of time in the season.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
plenty of time to grow up to first,
Right. Yeah, it's 3 weeks into the season. We got 70 people playing, which is great. And this week everybody's playing me. I'm playing for the host. Well, hopefully I can bounce back after my first week bad scores, but it's every other time though. It's like the odd numbers, the viewers have the advantage.
Yeah. And
then the even numbers until the bye weeks, because that changes things up a little bit.
Yeah.
But right at the moment, hopefully I should have the advantage this week, but you never know. It's fantasy football. Things who would have thought
every week?
Right? Who would have thought Derrick Henry would have had 2 points last week?
Yeah, I don't know that anybody could have guessed that one.
Right, exactly. So we need to find out what's it like on a typical Sunday when you two battling it out at home.
It depends. It depends on who's winning. If I'm winning, there's not a lot of talking. If Emily's winning, there's still not a lot of talking. It just depends on whose mood is better.
I wanted Henry to feel like he had a fair shot this year, and so therefore I let him get out to a 2-0 start. But as you can see, I'm already staging that comeback.
Just for this week.
I had confidence in my Eagles, and so that's where my selections were this week, and it took me a long way.
Right. Yeah, that was what put you over the top was the Eagles against the Patriots defenses. was a difference in the game
Yeah.
for you guys. So
Yeah.
At least I'm happy to say that I didn't choose the Broncos.
well, yeah, exactly. Carl is at the Phillies game. He's him and Lauren and Anthony and Sue are at the Phillies game today with so they're down in the front row with Bob Euchre. So
that should be a fun game. Should be a fun game to watch tonight.
Yeah, exactly. So they couldn't pass up the opportunity. And Anthony's a big. He's hoping to check in. It's a matter of if he gets a good connection down there at the game tonight. So we may see them popping in at some point today, giving us a view of what it's like for the not Red October, it's Take October, right?
Take October right here.
Yep. So yep, we'll see what how that the feeling is down there, because the guys seemed to have a good time yesterday, partying a little bit. So.
Oh, we
well, you seem to have a good time down in Tampa for the Bucks.
Well, that too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm jealous that he got to go on the field. I mean, just like that's one of the things that I'd always want to do, is just go on the field, be that close to Jason Kelsey. Like, look at how close he was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's her dream as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the fantasy winning, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, but yeah, no, it was a good time. The guys were partying, in the clubhouse last night after the game. You guys were there, so you tell us how it was.
It was fun. It was the first couple of innings went by super fast.
Right.
I mean, we got there. I mean, we were a little late getting there because of work, but we got there before we knew it. Like, we got food by the time we got food, it was the middle of the fourth.
We got in during the top of the first inning, and by the time we had gotten food, it was the end of third.
End of the third, beginning of the fourth. But it was fun. It was, the thing is that, like, as you would expect or think it would be in the situation last night, where it was last night, with us having the potential to clinch the playoffs. You would expect it to be packed, but the thing is that it wasn't as packed as you would think, right? It was, I mean, the first level packed and everything, but there were only, I think, 31,000 fans there last night. But so that was a little jarring for me. It was like, okay, where are all these people when you have that possibility at the time?
I think the crowd that was there was electric and was really hungry for that victory to come in, though. So even though there were, as Henry said, there was some, maybe people are staying home because of the weather, or, saving up for their playoff games,
right,
knowing that most likely that we were going to clinch, whether it happened last night or not, most likely going to clinch at some point this week. So maybe people stayed home for that reason. But I would say that the fans were there, especially after Marsh's homer. It definitely came alive a lot.
Definitely.
Everybody, you could feel the atmosphere. I think towards the end of the game, especially, nobody was really sitting in their chair at that point. Everybody was on their feet, probably for the last, I would say, two innings.
The bottom of the eighth, everybody was on their feet.
Yeah.
Everybody was on their feet throughout the whole through the end of the game.
You could definitely feel the nerves, when Kimbrel gave up that homer, and the feeling of oh no, is this going to slip away when we've held the lead for the majority of the game? So that way, I think it really made that celebration in the 10th that much more exciting, and that much more it had just kept, that anticipation had just continued to build throughout the whole night.
Right. And yeah, Joe, I'm sure there are a lot of hangovers tonight. A few of the guys went over to Xfinity Live afterwards, and
we went over to Xfinity, and it wasn't as packed as you would think it would be. But unfortunately, we did see later that Brandon Marsh was riding the pole, and we missed that. We were even talking about that. We're like, you would expect that the Phillies would come over, but we missed it by
because I feel like when the Eagles went to the postseason last year, every single game you will see them like after the victory going over to Xfinity Live, kind of hanging out there, and so it just felt like maybe that was the place to be last night. After the game, we got in line, we got our shirts. I think we got in line at a good time because definitely by
the time we got in the store, the
line was like you couldn't see that.
You could not see the end of the line.
Yeah, and Brandon or Stubbs is going to be catching today, so he looked like he looked like he was partying pretty good.
Oh,
so.
he was partying in his overalls.
Yeah, well, I think that was part of it. Was part of a scam, I think, by Forever. Because he's got a bobblehead now, coincidentally, out there with him wearing his overalls. So I think that was somebody had sponsored it and paid him off to do that. But no, I mean, he's probably seeing 3 baseballs coming up there, so hopefully he catches the one in the middle when the pitchers are coming in.
Right. Now, what do you guys think about the lineup change tonight?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. I mean, there's nothing to play for now.
Right.
Get everybody.
All you want to do is
get their guys rest and.
Yeah, that's the main. That's what they're trying to focus on now. Is I think they were even talking about that. Like, okay, we're gonna throw Stubbs in, rest up JT, rest up all these players. And that actually brings up something that I kind of want to ask your opinion on, John. Is that like, what's with us throwing Lorenzen in now? Why is he coming out of the bullpen?
Because he's not going to be needed as a starter in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he's a guy that's done it before, where Walker hasn't done it before. So he's going to be a guy that's going to have to be a starter in the playoffs. Probably why, Christopher Sanchez will probably be another guy that goes to the bullpen.
Yeah.
They were talking about perhaps Sanchez, depending on how the first 2 games are going, if they need to use Ranger late into the games instead of as the 3rd starter, then
that's
most likely Sanchez would make that 3rd starter. But I guess we'll have to kind of wait and see how the first 2 are going at that point.
Well, yeah, I mean that's a good thing with flexibility with Ranger, because he might be that utility guy that goes and does everything, the Swiss Army knife to be a start, get the last couple outs of an inning or a game, or get you through if somebody's having a rough start and get them 3-4 innings in a game, kind of like they used them last year, which gives you the ability to use Sanchez as a guy that could do that as a starter. So, and then have Walker as your 4th starter. So I think that's the one good thing with the Phillies, because like you're worried about the bullpen. As it is right now, being a little bit shaky, but I think guys are going to get a little bit of rest here. You're going to get the Alvarado's looking to be coming back. He was pretty nasty yesterday.
Yeah.
Kimbrel's pitched a lot so far this year, so I think he's going to get a little bit of rest. And probably once the playoffs start, he's probably going to be your 9th inning your closer itself, and not mixing and matching as much, because he hasn't been doing as well coming in when it's not a closing situation.
Yeah. And I think that you need to have that like depth in the bullpen, especially in the playoffs where, they don't have that ghost runner. So it's more back towards that traditional old school baseball where like the pitching, it could become a pitching duel, go into extras, and what does that look like? And so I think it's smart to get rest for, the whole team now, including the bullpen.
Right.
I just, you don't want to become the Braves last year type of thing where, they over-rest them and then they're not ready.
Well, yeah, they're not going to be over-rested just because they'll be able to get them in a little bit here and there, but it's, JT, especially, you want to get him off his feet for a little while to get him fresh, because once the playoffs come, he's going to be there the whole time.
Do you think that Reese is actually going to be playing? Do you think?
They said no.
No, he's not.
They said most likely no.
Even though he's up he's up throwing, batting. No.
right? Am I
There-
correct, John?
Well, there's a possibility in the World Series.
Okay.
That type of thing. They're kind of leaving the door open, as potential for the World Series.
But-
But it depends on how things go, because I mean they got a lot of guys going well. It's everybody knows I'm the biggest Reese fan, but it's unfortunately with Harper being at first base, and you're going to want to get Schwarber out of the outfield. He's going to be the DH, so
Yeah.
Hoskins can only really DH. So, I think it'll be nice to have him there. Maybe as a guy coming off the bench, he won't be a full time starter type of thing. Even as a DH or whatever, but he might come in as a pinch hitter if they need a home run late in the game, and they get Marsh is coming up against a tough lefty or something like that, and they can put him in there because there's really not a whole lot of other moves that you can make.
Right.
For the outfield, if you're going to have, Marsh and Rojas pretty much starting, you would think with Castellanos for the most part out there. So you can make that move and then put Jake Cave in the outfield if you have to, to finish the game, and hopefully, Reese does the job and hits a home run and, wins the game or puts them ahead that you're not worried about it. But it's a you're right, Joe. I mean, it's tough when you don't want to rock the boat with Hoskins, but I think you could see it yesterday. He's a big part. He's a big leader of that team. He's a big part of that team emotionally, and and plus he's got a big bat, but it's also going to be hard to throw him in there too. He hasn't played all year long.
Yeah.
To throw him in there for a World Series, it'd be tough. It worked out for Schwarber when he was with the Cubs. He kind of did that, but it'd be nice to see, but I don't know how viable it is if I don't think so, Joe. I don't think Hoskins will be a part of a trade. I think he's a free agent first of all, but I think the Phillies will sign him. Because
he's such a big part of the team dynamic. Like he brings so much life to the locker room, and I think that's kind of what throughout the beginning of the season everybody was saying this is one of the things we're missing. We're missing that leadership by Hoskins, right?
Yeah.
And that was one of the things they kind of said, okay, maybe this is why we didn't have such a good start to the season.
Right. Oh yeah. No, exactly. I mean, he's a big part. You need that right-handed bat coming off into that lineup to balance it all out with your lefties there, and he makes the lineup deeper. It's just a matter of I think next year he's going to probably go out. Harper's going to go back out to the outfield, which will open up the spot for him to play.
Yeah.
Do you think Harper will go back to the outfield?
I think so. Yeah, because they got a short window here for like 2-3 years,
right?
So that they can really win right now with the team that they got before got Wheeler's on it. Have a short year. JT's got a shorter contract. Castellanos, Schwarber, their contracts are a couple of years here. I mean, obviously Turner and Harper here for a lifetime, but it's and then you got Bohm and Stott that are guys that are coming up, but I think Harper will probably go back to the outfield and then sign Hoskins for maybe a 2-year prove it type of contract, or even a 1-year prove it type of contract for him, and then probably in 2-3 years Harper will probably be your first baseman to finish out his career once Hoskins is kind of done, type of thing, or just windows a little closed off for them. Because it's the same thing with NOLA. Everybody wants to. Well, who's in the outfield, Joe? Well, you'll probably end up having Harper and Castellanos being in right and left.
Yeah.
And then probably you're going to have Rojas and Marsh being a platoon in center field is probably what you're going to do. And we have a visitor here coming in, Joe. You asked for it, and here he is. He's checking in at the game.
Hold it straight up.
How we doing?
Hey.
Hey.
I got no sound.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
You're good.
Can you
You
hear
good?
us?
We can hear you good.
We can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yep. We got you.
I can hear you now.
There you go.
All you gotta
You
do
got to
is
turn the
raise,
volume up.
all you gotta do is turn the. You know what, John? I was doing this out of the kindness of my heart. The Phillies are already losing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, what do you expect?
Yeah.
We partied hard last night.
Well,
The guys
Scott
didn't get
dropped,
to sleep last night.
the ball in out here in right field that he should have caught.
Well, he's seeing 4 baseballs right now because he.
Yeah. I got it. This dugout's a little quiet.
I'm sure their heads
It's
probably
a little
pounded.
quiet.
They can't do much. You raise the voice in there, and everybody's got a pounding headache.
Yeah, some headaches are going around me.
Did you guys hang around all night last night?
Yeah, we were there until like 11-ish.
Yeah. We went after the game. We went over. We grabbed our shirts and then ran over to Xfinity for a little bit.
Did you see them over there?
We did
We
it.
left like right before. We didn't know. We saw Marsh riding the bull.
Why'd he take his belt off?
Because he didn't want to jam into him.
It was a safety
Crazy.
protocol.
Got to put the show on.
I guess. I was hoping for a few more fans out here tonight. It's pretty pitiful.
Yeah,
Well,
that's what last night we were just talking about this before. Like there weren't all the upper decks, all the 300-400 levels were pretty empty.
Really?
Yeah, it was much emptier than we expected it would be going in.
Huh. Wonder what fans were expecting.
I think people are gearing up for the playoffs and saving up for that.
Next Tuesday?
Yep.
Yeah.
Next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday.
Carl, Joe wants to know if you recuperated from your trip yet.
No, I still feel like I'm in my truck.
And I'm sure it's a big weather change too. Going from 90 to 50.
A little bit, yeah. A little bit. Yeah, it was very good. Clearwater was very good to us. We had that little bit of stupid rain Monday night during the game,
Yeah.
but other than that, it was nice.
How was that? How was that rain? Because people had said that actually was pretty good. It kind of like
Was, yeah.
because it was
If
muggy
you were-
during the game.
If you were out in it, you got wet.
No, but did it help you? Did it help cool things
Cooled
off?
off? No, not at all. No.
Was it one of those classic Florida like 5 minutes?
No, it wasn't.
Well, yeah, it lasted a little bit longer. Yeah. My partner in crime.
I figured I would be the one to turn the camera around so people can see what they want to see.
Oh, and she got cut off.
Nah, I'm just turning it around.
She's turning the camera around. The producer wants to take control.
Oh, there you go. Shocker.
There we go.
We need to see the dugout. There you go.
Good seat. Wow.
Nick's the guy in the tan hoodie.
With his hood up because he doesn't want to talk to anybody because the whole world is probably still spinning.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. So what's the over under on pass balls tonight?
Pass balls?
Yeah.
I don't know. Ranger better get it to him first.
He's not getting them to him.
He didn't look good in the first inning.
Uh-oh.
But he ate a little too much tequila.
Yeah. Well, supposedly he didn't drink too much of that. It was everybody else, but he stayed away.
Oh, of course.
So they say, in quotes.
Of course.
Right, that's always the case.
Tony says hello from Clearwater.
Oh, gotta rub that in.
Who said? Who?
Tony.
Tony, yeah. Tony.
Shawnee's on his way up today. Is that what I saw?
Yes. Yeah, he's probably in flight right now.
Oh, okay. He was flying back. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. Tony's down there all week. Then he's going to South Carolina, maybe Myrtle Beach. Harper just put one in the gap. He's
Nice.
second with a double.
There you go. I thought you had whiplash there for a second. Wait, how your head went moving.
My eyes are better at night.
Yeah.
I can see the ball much better.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, Tony dropped them off at the airport at 1:30.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Yep.
So, did you go over the fantasy football?
Oh, of course.
We did.
Top
we did.
5.
You're lucky I'm still on the podcast.
Yeah.
What I missed? Come on.
Henry might be winning.
I
It's
might
okay.
be winning. I might be in 4th. He might be in 8th.
Come on, Andy. You can do better than that.
I can do better than that. You're right.
Come on.
And then we got another husband and wife battle with Carolyn and Randy. They're 3rd and 5th. So yeah, there's been a lot of trash talking going on behind the scenes with those two.
Well, he's a big Dolphins fan.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he's trash talking.
Oh yeah. All he can. All he
I
can.
mean, at least in this household, we both still root for the correct team.
There you go. That's all that matters.
That's good for now. Anybody want cotton candy?
Yeah, can we get some?
Cotton candy guy just came by.
Yeah.
Here's the real question. Are you a pink cotton candy or a blue cotton candy person?
I'm a neither cotton candy person.
Lauren, how about you?
I gotta go the same. Are you a pink or a blue cotton candy person? He said neither. None of us here are going to be indulging in the cotton candy.
Was that the cotton candy guy, the older guy that was like kind of like jacked a little bit?
No.
I don't think so.
I actually went to high school with this guy.
Oh, wow.
I
You should
did.
have said hi.
He doesn't remember me.
Yeah, because if it was that guy, he back at the vet, he was doing it at the vet, and he came by our seats, and one of the cotton candies fell off the thing somehow, and I was picking it up and giving it to him, and he thought I stole it from him. I was trying to give it back to him, and he gave me the nastiest look. I'm like, dude, just handing it back to you.
Wow.
When he pulled it out, and so yeah. So Jim Wright said, "Oh, that guy's old."
Like me.
Oh.
Like me. That's fine.
And Tony's a blue cotton candy man.
Okay.
That doesn't. What we learned about Tony while we were in Florida is that he likes his drinks frozen, fruity, and sugary.
I got it. There's a foul ball right at us. Thank God for the screen.
Well, that would have been good podcasting right there if you would have got smacked.
Oh, yeah.
I could have snagged it right there. Right there. Right there.
Bring back the old catcher days.
Hey, John, let me update you on Scott Rowland.
Uh-oh.
He didn't sign any Wall of Fame balls.
Shocker.
We signed regular baseballs and put Wall of Fame on them.
Oh,
So did they not have Wall of Fame balls?
that's a good question. That's a good question. I would
Ask your
think
boy.
not, but I'll have to check with
sorry?
John Hollinger.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah.
So,
It seems to be like a little bit tougher to get those balls. So I don't know. Maybe.
well, that's because they sold them all. They
Right.
got rid of their inventory.
Right.
I don't know what they were thinking.
No, exactly. You know, and then they made that smaller logo, and it was a little bit too small for the game ball.
Had to screw everything up.
Right. So, how's Anthony liking the game since they're winning?
Oh, he's liking it. How are you liking the game since they're winning? He likes it. Better than what? Oh, better than last night's what he said.
He was here last night for that debacle.
Oh, was he?
Yes. Yep, right underneath the scoreboard.
Okay. Well, he had a no-hitter going there until Brandon Marsh came along.
They were in first place in April too.
Oops.
Poor Tony.
Ouch.
So-
He said they'll be coming for us next year.
Yeah. To
What
try
he
to get
said.
they try to get Castro back from us.
I don't know about that.
They can have him.
He's playing third tonight.
Yeah, he is.
Or
Yeah, we
at
noticed.
least he's standing over there, right?
He dropped the ball on the throw from the outfield to tag the runner.
And Lauren, Tony said that the world didn't need to know all that information.
Oh, she's got more. Trust me.
She's got more secrets.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. When you're partying in Clearwater, it doesn't stay in Clearwater. It's not like Vegas.
Scratching the surface.
Oh yeah.
So what's
So well, we got the perspective from Henry and Emily about the Phillies game. So let's get the perspective you had for the Eagles game. How was the
Yeah, how was the Eagles game?
The Eagles game.
a lot of Eagles fans?
Yeah.
Lots of Eagles fans. Lots of chanting. The two tailgates that we went to were awesome.
Yeah.
The one video that I saw, there was supposedly everybody's calling it the new Eagles fan it was a mother with two babies, and she was drinking wine while the two babies were like strapped to her chest. Did you see that video?
I did not.
No.
It was like she was right behind. She was like almost like 2 seats back, and she had her two babies strapped to her chest. Meanwhile, she's pouring wine into a cup and drinking it, and they're calling her the new perfect Eagles fan.
I believe that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was intense. I mean, the Eagles fans are, they party hard, but they know their football.
Right. It seemed like it was a home field game right there with the way the crowd was watching on.
Lou Nolan's here.
Lou Nolan's in the house.
There you go.
Lou Nolan.
Pico power play.
But I would say the best part about the trip was we went down kind of field level, so right in the first row, right in one of the corner spots, and we were just standing there watching the guys warm up. It was me, my dad, Sean, and Stephanie, and these people kept coming on and off the field, on and off the field. Well, a father and two sons came off the field, all with Bucks gear on. They take off their field passes and just handed them to us.
Wow.
So 3 of the 4 of us just got to go down onto the field just out of nowhere. So that was probably the coolest part of the entire game, was just being able to go down there, and those guys were like right there. So that was pretty cool.
Wow.
Like I said earlier, I didn't encounter one like bad Bucks fan.
Yeah.
Nothing but like great stuff to say about them. They're so understanding. I'm guessing a lot of people invade that stadium as opposing fans, so I think they're used to it. But they were just as nice as could be, so it was nice.
Yeah.
I think that whole area too is a lot of like people who maybe didn't originally grow up in Tampa, maybe they moved to Tampa later on. So like I think that probably helps make them like maybe more of an understanding fan base and more welcoming, since like a lot of them maybe didn't grow up with it in their roots.
Right.
Good point.
Agreed.
Good point.
Yep. Cheryl agrees with you there, Lauren. She had nothing bad to say about him as well. But I think there was only like 4 fans there for the Bucks. It wasn't a lot.
We managed to encounter 3 of them.
Well, there you go. And you got three of the good ones. To get you on the. Tony was impressed by you getting onto the field there, Carl. So
it was good.
It was good.
Kind of like
it was
right place at the right time.
That was just lucky. Damn lucky. Right place, right time.
Henry was he's a little jealous.
Yeah, Henry was a little jealous.
I was a little jealous.
That you were that close to Kelsey's jock, but he was a little.
Wow. Okay.
That's everybody's dream. That's everybody's dream, according to that Henry. To get that close to Kelsey.
You know what I'm impressed with is this Bryce Harper guy. Is he any good? He's pretty good at first base.
Yeah,
pretty good. Plays a good first base. I got a real good shot at him.
Yeah. You're gonna get on the field too with him?
No, I don't think so.
Then Henry's gonna be a little more. Henry's gonna be more jealous.
Yeah.
My boy Derek Hall's not here.
No, but there was talks that he's going to be on with the on the roster, though, I believe, for the playoffs. With that, like that.
That'd be cool. I'd like that.
What's that? The taxi squad type of thing or whatever that they have.
Okay, is that what they're going to do?
Last year.
Yeah, exactly. That's what they did last year. I think there was talks that he's going to be part of that again this year. So. They actually caught it?
We did.
That Rojas kid's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
His excitement running those bases last night. I mean, from somebody who wasn't on the team at the start of the season, it was really exciting. I think that's what makes our team like so powerful this year, is that like everybody contributes, like 1 through 9. There's never a spot where you're completely safe as the opposing team.
John, what's the scoop? I know I heard a bunch of stuff on the radio, but what's the scoop on Rhys Hoskins?
Well, they're saying that he may be ready for the playoffs. Like the World Series more so. Is what they're leaving the door open for, but. Like we were talking about, Joe was mentioning that earlier. It's like, do you rock the boat with them? Bringing them in at this point, because he's only going to be a DH, right? You know what I mean? So
that's all he can do, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if he's only going to be a DH, then you're going to have have to sit Schwarber. Type of thing if you're going to do that, or have Schwarber in the outfield. So, it'll be tough. I think he'll probably be on that taxi squad type of thing. And
how many players is that?
I think it's I think they can have 28 as the active guys, and then maybe 35.
Guys need a drink.
I'm getting a little thirsty, yeah.
I thought the playoffs is 26, I thought.
Is that what it was?
I thought it was either 26 or 24, I thought.
26.
26?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I thought I heard something about 28 yesterday, but maybe not. But yeah, it's I mean, he may be around, but I don't know. He might be a bench guy coming off the bench. But
well, I mean, wouldn't that be good?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, just for his leadership and stuff. You know, 'cause you saw. I don't know if you saw. Were you able to see any of the celebrations in the clubhouse? Were you able to see any of the celebrations last night, Carl? Where you were at?
We saw some stuff, but most of it was on like Facebook afterwards and stuff like
Right.
that. So
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, he was a big part of it there. So, you know, he's off to the side, letting everybody else, you know, enjoy what they were doing. But you know, it was he
That's
was over there.
Alvarado walking out to the bullpen.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how much bullpen they're going to use tonight.
Yeah.
Probably not much. No. Yeah, well, that or the bottom guys, they'll use them. But so what did you think of Nola yesterday, Carl?
But he pitched really well.
Yeah.
Really well. 6 2/3. You know, they were talking on the radio today, you know, that the only reason that Topper took him out of the game was to give him a standing ovation. I kind of disagree with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he was ready to come. I think he was ready to come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, possibly. But they were saying they were hoping that whether this is his last home start, you know, as far as regular season start or not, who knows? But I hope that they find a way to re-sign him, you know, in the off season. You know, just because I mean he's, you know, the team's 17-4 in his last 21 starts. You know, it's
Yeah.
you know he's second all time with five years of 200 strikeouts.
Yep.
Plus he has all those innings pitched and stuff. You know, he just don't find a guy like that who gets Philadelphia. And you know, I think he's you know, will be a guy that'll be missed if he's not here.
Probably better than your right hand.
But how do you like this stat though? In the last 100 games, the Phillies are 63-37 over the last 100 games of the year.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty good winning start. So
Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
all right, guys, I'm going to take this opportunity to sign out, but I'll see everybody next week.
all right, sounds good.
See ya.
See you next
Yeah.
week, Lauren.
Joe's not a big fan of Nola, so
No?
no.
Why?
Why not, Joe? But yeah, I mean, you know, people look at him and think that he should be you know, he's not an ace, but he's not getting paid like one either. And you know, if you look at him for, he does give up a lot of home runs, but that's mainly this year. But when he gives them up, they're usually solo home runs.
Yeah.
So
Well, I'll ask the all important question. Who do you replace him with?
well, that's the thing.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because the obvious thing is you're going to bring Abel up, but you know, if you have Abel to save the money, but Abel's not going to be able to pitch as many innings as Nola does. You know, because you know he's going to be on an innings, you know, count for next year. So, you know, he's about 2 years away from being what Nola's going to give you consistently. So you know, and most of the time when Nola gets beat, it's that one inning. And a lot of times it's those little dinkers between, like, you know, bleeders that get between the shortstop and third baseman, or right up the middle, or between first and second base, and then you know it just snowballs from there. That it's not like he's getting hit hard. You know, he gives up the home runs, but they're solo home runs. So
Yep.
you know, it's not you know
It's still keeping you in the game more than anybody who's going to be on the market and available. Right.
Yeah. Well, exactly. He gives you 6-7 innings, you know, most nights out.
I mean,
So
what kind of money is Blake Snell going to get at, you know, when he leaves San Diego?
right. Well, yeah. I mean, he had a big year this year, you know, for him. So I mean, yeah, he's a guy that could get a lot of money. But you know what? I'd rather take Nola than Blake Snell. You know, for a team. So, Yeah, it's interesting to see. We'll see how it works out. But,
It's going to
you
be
know,
interesting. Going to be interesting. But
yeah,
we got 13 games to win, right?
13
13
games.
more.
that's what JT said. 13
Just
wins.
ask JT.
Yep. We got 13 games to win. All right. I'm going to grab a beer and put my feet up and enjoy this one.
All right, enjoy.
See ya.
Guys,
Enjoy.
have a great show. See
Yep,
you next
thanks.
week.
Yep.
See you next week.
So, so yeah, that was a good. Yeah. So, what do you guys think about Nola for him
He's,
coming back?
I would like to see him come back. I was listening on WIP that he's, and I agree. I think when it comes down to those really, really important, necessary games, he thrives.
Right.
Right. If we're in a situation last night where we have the opportunity to clinch and he performs well the way he's supposed to, right? And he
Right.
does that, and that's what I like to see. That's what I think he's good at.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a concern with Nola that he does give up the long ball a little bit too much and how much money he's going to, be going for on the free agency market. And, how long that contract's going to need to be for him to be willing to sign it. If Abel is coming up in 2 years, I don't know that signing a super long-term contract really, makes a lot of sense for us as an organization. But at the same time, I don't know that there's anybody better for us to go out and sign to get past the next 2 years.
Right. And I think the money part, I think the Phillies already have the money like there already because they're already paying him like 21, 22 million this year. So I don't think if he gets, a 4 or 5 year deal, I think he's going to be right in that same number per year, value. So I don't think it's going to hurt him, too much. It's kind of the same way with Hoskins. The money's already there. They're paying,
Right.
$15 to $17 million, $18 million, whatever it is. That it's not like it's hurting him. It's like that he's getting paid $5 million, and now you got to pay him 20, to come on, and you're bringing on back for 15 more million type of thing or whatever.
Yeah.
So, you're bringing them back at basically the same number maybe, but you're just giving them more years at this time. And
Yep.
So yeah, it'll be interesting.
Talking about trades and free agency, what did you guys think about the big NBA news?
The
today?
the 3-way trade.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was kind of caught off guard with that one for.
I didn't see that coming. I mean, I don't know that it really helps us, but I don't really know that it hurts us in any way. We have to face them anyway.
Oh yeah, well, it definitely doesn't help right away. But they lost a few pieces there, from Milwaukee by getting them.
Right.
Losing Drew Holiday was a big piece for them.
Yeah.
For their defense and that kind of stuff, and plus a couple of the other pieces that they lost. So yeah, I think to be honest, I'm not expecting much next year. For this year for the Sixers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, just because you kind of have to bite the bullet this year. Survive through Harden and Tobias Harris. Even though I like Tobias Harris, personally, I think he just wasn't used properly. Or had to sacrifice his games more.
Exactly.
To fit everybody else. Which made him look like he wasn't as good of a player, but that way you get rid of both of those contracts, and then you can have a chance to be able to bring back a two max players, to add to buy. I mean, to Embiid and Maxey. So, it'll be interesting to see. That's for sure.
I think it was just some big news that maybe wasn't that expected to come out today.
Yeah.
But like you're saying, we're probably going to be, I would imagine, in very much the same position that we were in this past year with the Sixers.
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of the starters are changing.
Right. Yeah, but so we'll talk a little bit of Eagles here while we got like 10 more minutes left since we got that. But so what do you think of their start so far this year?
I think we're 3-0. I think we're 3-0.
Yeah.
I still think we have not played our best football. I think
Right.
we have not played our best. I think there's a lot that needs to be cleaned up. I think that there's a lot of cues that have been missed. There's a lot of I think the I'm not sure if it's play calling. I'm not sure if it's miscommunications, but I think there's a lot of stuff that the offense needs to fix that we could be a lot better on offense. I think our defense really, really stepped up this last game.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
I think
they sure
that
did, honey.
Yes, they did.
Yes, they did.
Got
they
them
stepped
the
up.
victory.
Yeah, they stepped up. I think that our defense is. I'm more confident on our defense from how it looked last week. I was extremely skeptical week 1 and week 2. But I'm looking forward to seeing how we play against Washington. Now, given Washington's but I think we could still prove a lot. I want to see. I don't know. Do you think the issue on offense is more of play calling, miscommunication? What do you think? What do you think is the major of those two, basically, or do you think it's a combination of both?
I think it's more play calling. I think having both coordinators, is hurting them a little bit, getting them into the rhythm of the game. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. It's the coordinators. It's hard to take an offense, especially on the offensive side, that has all these weapons and be able to blend them all together to work.
Yeah.
It seems to me he's getting caught up with, all right, we got to go to Goddard. Like he got Goddard like 6-7 plays in a row. Then it's like Devontae Smith gets his plays, and then AJ Brown gets his plays, and then we got to get Swift the ball, and then Jalen Hurts has got to do his things, and so it's like there's no flow to it. It's almost like, all right, we haven't gotten the ball to this person, so let's get him the ball for a few times. So
yeah,
I don't know that it's even that they're making calls for like who's open or that like I am a huge Jalen Hurts fan. I mean, I don't know how you live in the city and not be a huge Jalen Hurts fan, but I think that sometimes he's not really looking for who's open. He's really determined on, I didn't get AJ the ball, kind of what you're saying, like in the last few plays. And I don't know if that's just the escalated by the media in terms of like the whole controversy 2 weeks ago with AJ not getting the ball.
I think there's just there's too many weapons. It's almost that they have too many weapons. The Eagles.
I think one of the things that I remember it's in the pregame on what was it, Monday, they said one of the things you have to and especially against Tampa Bay before our offensive line completely destroyed their defensive line and left so many holes like it was Swiss cheese. But the one thing that they said was you can't be predictable.
Right.
You can't be predictable against defenses like that. And I think that's the thing is that we're just like, okay, we'll hand it off to Swift for 10 plays. And they know that that's coming. You can't go when we play against Kansas City eventually, when we play against, the Dolphins, when we play against these bigger teams, we can't do that. I just feel like it's the same plays a lot of the time, the same people over and over and over again.
Yeah. No. And like Joe says, it takes a lot of time to get a new, a coordinator, especially offensively, to catch up to the speed of the game, and especially when you have these many weapons that you can you can go down the field up and down, with ease if you get the right calls being played. And
Right.
it's just a matter of and I think they have. It seems to me that they kind of have Jalen Hurts like almost held back holding them back and staying in the pocket.
I think Jalen Hurts has not been as active of a runner
Right.
that he was last year. I'm not sure what that is. I don't know if there's something. I know that last time there was, or after the game, they're saying Jalen Hurts had flu-like symptoms during the game. So I'm not sure if that's it. I'm not sure
he was the same way in the first 2 games.
Confident,
I think we're in a good position that they have time to kind of figure that out. We are winning the games even as they are figuring that out. And in the next, 3 weeks, we have the Commanders and then the Jets, and the Rams will be a little bit more difficult in there. But at least I think if it's a time to figure it out, we're already 3-0, and now we'll have some of those easier games before we get to those potentially harder games.
Well, no, exactly, and that's a good thing about it. Like you said, that they're winning. I mean, having all these little issues that we're looking at right now, but they're still 3-0. So at the end of the day, it's a good thing.
A win's a win.
Right at this part of the season, because I think a lot of the NFL right now, that these are still preseason games to these guys, and you got 3-4 games. The first 3-4 games, it's taking the guys to get their stamina and get into shape, and not that they need to be in shape, but just game ready difference. So
I think it's a little bit of a learning technique on how are we going to use all of these weapons. We're in a great position that we have so many weapons. On both offense and defense, but making sure that we're using them to their best ability, and making sure that mold and that rhythm is kind of there. But in the meantime, we're still winning the games that we need to win.
Right. Yep. Good night, Tony. Have a good time down there. Jim, and I kind of agree with you. I mean, Jalen Hurts doesn't need to run as much, but my only thought was, my only hesitation when I was saying that was when he does run, when the play breaks down, he seems to be tentative, like that. That he's like,
he's not confident.
Yeah, he's fallen down and not taking hits, which is good. But it just seems like a little different. We're just not used to seeing that out of him just yet, and that could be fine. It's not a negative. It's just a difference. That we've been seeing out of them, we're not used to it right at the moment. I mean, still doing the tush push, and which I think we're going to see less and less of that happening, because it seems like teams are catching on to it a little bit more as it's going on, and they're not making it as easily as they used to. And that's going to take a toll on the offensive line. As the season goes on, the more that they do it. Again, Kelsey was not feeling well as well, but you could see he was after that one touchdown. He
was struggling that play.
I mean, because he's the first guy in the middle of the pile with 12 guys on top of him. So I mean, he's pushing it and trying to drag the line back, and it's definitely I hope they don't have to use it either, Joe. I mean, with the running backs they got, just don't give it when it's short yardage to Gainwell, and give it to Swift, and you'll be better off. If you have to. I mean, I've been calling for that play where they did they were lined up to do the tush push, and Jalen Hurts stepped back to try to throw a pass, but
that was I was so confused, because it was I think it was 4th and 2. Right.
Yeah, like down low. I mean, and then he gets tripped up by the offensive lineman and stuff. So, it was kind of and I don't think I wanted to see the play come about, but I don't think you needed to use it in that situation either.
No, in that situation, I was like, why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? We didn't need to do that.
Yeah, I mean, that was more of a play I think we needed to have against the Cowboys.
Right.
Yeah.
Just
And I
because.
think that goes back to like the whole forcing some of these plays and
Right.
just that learning.
Yeah, the learning curve. Exactly. I agree. But yeah, it's going to be a fun year. You know, like you said, we got, you still got, the first half of the year up until week 8, you only playing, really the Rams are a little bit improved, with their defense and stuff, and then you got the Dolphins in there, and then
Right.
but you got 2 games with the Commanders, so within the first 8 games, so before it starts getting a little bit tougher, and by that time they should have a lot of these little issues ironed out and be ready to be hitting all cylinders at the end of the season, and should be a fun rest of the year, and and then we'll be sitting back laughing at this point, in 10 weeks, and being like, why were we worried about it? And we're really not.
What was your prediction at the beginning of the season for the win, for our record?
15-2.
15-2?
Yeah. 15-2. Yeah. Now I went with that last year, and we were 14-3. So it was,
So this year will be
15-2.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, there's a couple of games. I mean, it's, and having that lofty of a record though might bite you in the end, because
Right.
just because the last couple of games may not matter at that point, if you have that lofty of a record at that point going into it, that they rest some guys, and you lose a game that you weren't thinking you were going to lose, because it didn't matter. You rested a bunch of guys, so that's my excuse for last year, because Minshew came in and I lost that one game because of Minshew, but yeah, no, it was fun. We're gonna have a good October, into November with the Phillies and the Eagles, and and then we'll see. I think we'll have some fun with the Sixers when they come in, because you're gonna have a lot of drama, which is always fun.
Always Phillies. It's never Philly sports without some drama to it.
Exactly. And so yeah, I think that'll be fun to see how that all plays out, and hopefully Harden smartens up and realizes he's going to have to play to get another contract, after he's done here, because otherwise, people aren't going to want him, because this is his 3rd team that he's pulled these antics with. So who's going to want to give him a long-term contract if he's not going to buy up to it, own up to it, and work with them, and so yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens there, and hopefully we see Maxey take a big step, and hopefully finally Embiid matures and becomes the player that we all hoped he was, and not goofing around too much, and becomes a team player. He won the MVP this year, but it's not an individual award sport. Right. It's all nice and everything, but championships are what matters.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's all good. So this hour went too fast.
It did. It really did.
You're right. It always does. It always does. So well, thanks for filling in. You guys did a great job.
Thank you.
We'll see what happens. It's 2-1 right now in the family record. So
it'll be 3-1. It'll be 3-1 next week.
So you said you don't talk much, but that's all you've been doing is talk. You're talking a lot.
I won this week.
So there was talking.
I know exactly. That's what I mean. He's still talking trash, and he says he doesn't talk much.
Right. No. The non-talking happens when I'm losing.
Thanks, Ed, for the support. Thanks for watching, Ed. But yeah, I mean, it'll be fun. So yeah, everybody get your votes in. So I'll have another long day of recording all the picks for tomorrow, and we'll have a fun game starting this week, and then we have a London game this week, so everybody gets an earlier game at 9:30.
9:30. Yep.
So that's always good to get that extra football.
With a Toy Story like football thing on Disney Plus. If
Yeah,
anybody has Disney Plus.
That's going to be interesting to see because they said it's going to be the actual game footage, but
It's gonna be like in Toy Story like version.
yeah, animated. But yeah, they're going to be characters, but with like the actual plays and
Yeah.
everything going on. So that'll be interesting to see how they can pull that off that fast. You know,
Right.
live like that. I mean, obviously it's going to be on a delay, I'm sure, of some
Yeah.
sort, but that'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
But so yeah, make sure everybody who plays real fantasy football as well, other than our podcast one, make sure you get your lineups set up early because Saturday night, you know, especially for the early games, because you may miss out on a player or two. So it's always important to get those lineups set.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, it's always been good. So all right. Well,
Okay.
thank everybody for joining us tonight, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Yep.